Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to The Color of Beautiful After Dark. I'm Dr. Karen Moore, founder of I Am the Color of Beautiful, global spoken word initiative and movement. I'm so glad that you've decided to join me here for The Color of Beautiful After Dark. And today, the blog post was on something that we have to be honest about, even though we really don't want to experience it. And today's post was, bad days and setbacks are a part of life. They really are. And as confident and as much courage as we have, and we put forth, and we are building, this is 30 days of building your courage and self-confidence. And as we work towards building that, there are going to be times we're going to have bad days and we're going to have setbacks. And we can't get around that, but we can work through it. That's the key. We can work through it. And one of the points that we make is, without dark, we wouldn't notice the light. So even when we're having a dark day or a bad day, one of the things that I think is so important is, regardless of what the situation is, we can still be grateful. Because when we exercise that gratitude and when we tap into gratitude, we begin to understand that we had a better time, and we begin to realize that it's not always going to be like this. And we can reflect on even the situation, the circumstance that we're in. It's not as bad as it could be. If something happens in your house, one of the things I try to really focus on is, if something happens in the house, at one time the roof was leaking. Okay, so that in and of itself is right? But the thing about it is, I was grateful I have a roof. Because there are some people would love to have a house with a leaking roof, right? So we have to be mindful of being grateful, even in the midst of those bad, turbulent times. And sometimes you can be in a space where it may be very difficult to find some gratitude. But if you really think about it, you can cherish the times that you have when you have the transition of a loved one. It can be difficult to find gratitude in that. But if we can some way, in the midst of our grief, which we are entitled to have, and while I'm on that, you're entitled to grieve and you're entitled to take your time in grieving. No one gets to tell you when you should be over it or how you should be over it. Only you can decide that, how you get through it. And truth be told, you don't really get over it. It gets easier to deal with, and you get through each day. Let me say that. So even understanding that and appreciating the time that you had with that person, right? When you realize how much time you had together, that there are people who didn't have that kind of time together. So that is a positive way to even look at transition and thanking God for the amount of time that you had with that person. And so you've got to work your way back to confidence. So it takes small steps. You can't beat up on yourself, and you can't be, I shouldn't be in this place. I still should be in this place. You've got to take small steps and work your way back to your self-confidence. And as long as you're taking those small steps, don't beat up on yourself. Celebrate every step that you take. Take a moment to celebrate every step that you take to getting closer to building back your courage and self-confidence. And so I want to say to you, whatever situation you may be in right now, as you get ready to take your rest, look for gratitude. Thank God for everything that you have, that you still have. Thank God for His provision. Thank God for His grace and for His mercy. And as you get ready to go and lay your head to sleep. Thank God for everything and rest in Him. This is an opportunity when you're having those tough times to take your rest in Him, because He is there. The Holy Spirit is a comforter, and you will get through this. It's a part of life. You will get through it. You will get through it. So take your rest knowing that God has you in His hands. He has the situation in His hands, and you can rest. Okay? Have a blessed night.